Trade relations between Canada and the United States have opened a new front, and this time Elon Musk's Tesla is in the crosshairs. Canada has put the United States electric vehicle giant Tesla in its sights. While the United States automotive industry has been turned upside down by Donald Trump's trade policies, calls from within Canada to tax Tesla and provide higher incentives to vehicles produced in Canada have changed the landscape of the business. Could this development have dramatic consequences for the automotive sector, especially the electric vehicle market? And why has Canada opened such a front against Elon Musk's company? Welcome to our channel. Today's topic is the new round of trade tensions between the United States and Canada. These developments in the automotive and electric vehicle industry are likely to affect not only Tesla, but almost every part of the car manufacturing ecosystem. Please subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, and don't forget to like our video so that you don't miss these striking moves on the agenda. Now, let's take a look at the details of the issue. Tariffs. It all started when United States President Donald Trump's trade friction with various countries, especially Canada and Mexico, turned into an unexpected reaction on the Canadian front. NDP lawmakers in Canada are considering the idea of imposing a special tariff on Tesla cars and want a $10,000 rebate on electric vehicles made in Canada. This is interpreted as a maneuver that would reduce competitiveness in the Canadian market for American brands like Tesla. Trump's automotive tariffs are in the background. Introduced in February 2025, the tariffs imposed on countries such as Mexico, Canada, and China not only devastated the American automotive industry, but also sparked outrage in Canada. Trump's tariffs on Mexico and Canada are not only creating tension among the people of Canada and Mexico, but also causing great concern among all American states. The tariffs are particularly disruptive in the automotive supply chain. The North American automotive production chain relies on parts repeatedly crossing borders between the three countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. When tariffs were added, costs skyrocketed, plans were disrupted, and manufacturers suffered losses. Tesla has been vulnerable to these new taxes, which also affect raw materials, parts, or spare materials coming from Canada, even though it mostly uses its own ecosystem and facilities, such as the Nevada Gigafactory. But the latest move in Canada not only responds to Trump's tariff wars, but also puts Tesla in the crosshairs. The NDP is proposing additional taxes on Teslas and a $10,000 rebate on electric vehicles made in Canada. This is meant to incentivize Canadian consumers to buy locally produced EVs instead of Teslas. CBC reports that NDP MPs are arguing, "Let us penalize American brands and support our own manufacturers." The Driven even reported that the Toronto government removed Tesla from the grants program. This is a big problem for Elon Musk and presents a really difficult choice. On the one hand, there is the question of Canadian citizenship and the decrease in sales in Canada. On the other hand, the $10,000 rebate per vehicle incentivizes Canadian consumers to favor local manufacturers. Canadians have even started a campaign to react against American brands like Tesla. Thousands of Canadians are said to have signed a petition asking for Elon Musk's Canadian citizenship to be revoked. To what extent this campaign has an official counterpart is unknown, but public opposition to Tesla and Musk is on the rise. The NDP's position is summarized as, "Trump hit Canada in the tariff war, so now we hit Tesla." Tesla has been one of the most popular EV brands in Canada in recent years. However, such tax and incentive regulations may increase Tesla prices and boost the price advantage of domestic manufacturers. Although Musk has not yet spoken publicly on this issue, it is expected that he will pursue a similar strategy as he did during the US-China trade war. Even if the company is proud of its American identity, it may have to make price adjustments to maintain market share as costs rise. Some commentators even raise the question, would Tesla consider manufacturing in Canada? If it did, it could avoid additional taxes by being considered a domestic producer and benefit from grants in Canada. However, it is unclear how compatible this is with Musk's global production plans. Do these taxes only affect Tesla? Economically and politically, these taxes don't just target Tesla. American manufacturers such as Ford and GM are also feeling the squeeze in the Canadian market. If tensions between Canada and the United States escalate, not only Tesla, but also traditional American brands will suffer under the tax burden. Canadian consumers, already reacting to economic uncertainty, may turn to cheaper alternatives. On the other hand, the Canadian government is questioning why it should give incentives to foreign brands like Tesla. Instead, they argue that higher rebates should go to EV models produced by companies operating within Canada. This could make the Canadian market even more difficult for American automakers. The political dimension: United States President Donald Trump has defended the tariffs, saying, "They have exploited our country for years, and we are going to do them justice." After similar tensions with Mexico and China, his characterization of Canada as a backstabbing ally has provoked a sharp reaction from Ottawa. Some Canadian politicians argue that targeting a symbolic company like Tesla sends a message to both Trump and the American people. Look, we will retaliate too. Additionally, the NDP is appealing to its left-wing base, presenting the idea of punishing American corporations and supporting domestic green technology as a populist promise. How will consumers respond? Although some argue that Tesla is already a luxury brand and wealthy buyers will continue purchasing its cars, models like the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y are more budget-friendly. An additional tax on these models would make Tesla much more expensive for Canadian consumers, increasing the appeal of GM's locally produced EV models and Canadian startups. This could mean a loss of market share for Tesla. The company might try to offset these losses with price cuts or promotions, but this would hurt profitability. With the butterfly effect of Trump's tariffs, Tesla's future in the Canadian market is in jeopardy. Elon Musk's Canadian connection. Although Musk was born in South Africa, he once held Canadian citizenship and lived in Canada for some time. Now, news of the petition demanding the revocation of his citizenship has been reported by the BBC, with thousands of Canadians signing it. While the legal basis for this movement remains unclear, it highlights growing public discontent. Some attribute this to Musk's perceived ties to the Trump administration, even though Musk has clashed with the White House at times. Canadian nationalists see this issue as a direct response to Trump's tariffs. If the US imposes tariffs, then Canada will tax America's most famous EV brand. Will Tesla build a factory in Canada? The NDP, which gained influence in recent elections, wants to protect the electric vehicle market for Canadian manufacturers. The Toronto government's exclusion of Tesla from its grant program was the first step. If this trend continues, Canadians who want to buy a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y could end up paying anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 more. However, if Tesla were to manufacture in Canada, its EV models would qualify for significant incentives, which could help the company retain market share. This situation raises a broader question. What happened to the principles of free trade? There are also rumors that Tesla is considering opening a factory in Canada. The company has already built a gigafactory in China as part of its global expansion strategy. If Canada offers incentives, Tesla could be classified as a local manufacturer, avoiding tariffs and benefiting from grants. Would this compromise Musk's American brand identity? Perhaps. But in business, economic reasoning often takes precedence over national pride. Final thoughts. Canada is directly targeting Tesla, and the US automotive industry is in trouble. The North American EV market is in for a turbulent period. What do you think? Will Tesla retreat from Canada, or will it build a factory? How will tensions escalate with Trump's tariffs? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. See you in our next video.